y dos, y dos, una, y dos, una, y dos.
Hello and welcome to Cortesnyc Livestream, the podcast. This show broadcasts twice a week out of New York City. We are your hosts, Cortesnyc,
and Carla de Puerto Rico.
And on the show, we talk about art, creativity, city life from a Latino perspective. I'm a visual artist.
And I'm a singer.
And this is episode 16, Born Fly. We have a special guest, Damian Dolly. We're going to be talking about his work in the fashion industry and talking some football.
As always, please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. You can also find us on Stitcher. And on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram.
And let me give you some shout-outs. Tabs 1, DJ Corrupted, Psycho Art, Joe, New V Me, 1234 Salazar, 7 Capture, DJ JS1, Michelle Clark Kill Comments, Abyss 102, Lukanaka, Snake 9, Prox, the homie, what up homie? Prox 1 GWB, Art Spot, Airbrush, Distract, Phaser 73, Sec Loco 211, Puppet Master Ricky, JRC, SNR, Lesk Styles, Latino, SDDH, and a couple of podcasts, Hablando Plepas, Junior en la del Cuerpecito Tropical, what up, PK in the AM, and Chico in the Grin. All right, so let's do this. All right. Here we go. We got our first in-house guest.
What?
The one, the only, known to you all as the Double Design, known to us as El Diablo.
El empresario.
Otherwise known as Damian.
That's my government. Let me put my government out there.
But we got D Double Design in the house.
Yes.
What up?
And he is Born Fly.
I was Born Fly, so I've been told. The doctors told me that. Tell my mom.
So we're here. We got him in studio. He's our first in-house guest, and we got him here drinking beers. Got that Henny bottle on ice.
Feeling the vibe.
Got the Chinese food en route.
Actually,
Becky.
Korean, but that's fine.
Korean, same thing.
Yeah.
Wait, cut that out.
So wrong. And we got him here. We're going to be speaking all things Born Fly. I want to pick his brain to kind of spread some information. I know D for years. We've been working in the fashion industry for years.
Way back.
And I mean, ever since I met this guy, I've always been more on the graphic side. I already knew he was more into the clothing side. He just has his whole fashion. He's got the eye for fashion, and he lives it. He loves it, and he just wants to create it. So it was no doubt when I first met him, I knew this guy's gonna end up having some sort of brand or something. And so that's why I dragged him in here to kind of share some knowledge with some of the designers out there, people who maybe have startups, some of you entrepreneurs out there, some of you empresario.
That sounds better than entrepreneur. Can't front. Like that.
But you know, he's got some gems to drop on you guys and some information to share. I'm gonna try to pick his brain and get some of his past out of him, but we're gonna focus on the present as well. And Carla, you're here along for the ride.
Yeah. I'm gonna listen and pay attention to all the advice.
There's a lot of old wisdom in here.
Yeah.
All right, so D, I'm gonna cut the mic loose to you. You start us off from the beginning. How far back you want to go? Just go ahead.
Well, it started a long time ago. I've always been connected to fashion in some way. I grew up in Trinidad with my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather. And my grandmother, she was a seamstress, and my grandfather, he was like a copper artist. He would make like sculptures and stuff out of copper. So I was around art my whole life. My mom is a chef, my cousin's an architect. We all drew, we all draw still. So my love of drawing turned into clothing. But
Okay.
the way it did was, I mean, at first I thought I was going to be special effects. I wanted to do special effects. I like movies. I remember watching Terminator 2 and being like, this is what I want to do. But then...
Special effects like blowing shit up?
Yeah. Like blowing shit up, exactly. But I quickly realized, like, after watching the movie and you see the name for a split second, I was like, all right, well, that's not doing it for me. I wanted something more of a connection, so And at the same time, I was a bit of an empresario, entrepreneur, because I remember my mom used to send me stuff from New York, and I was in Trinidad, and I used to go to school and like sell them. So I don't know if you remember, but you know how you get baseball cards?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to have movie cards. So like if a movie came out, they would make cards with the scenes on it, with the gum and everything in there, and you could like, you know what I mean? So I would take that to school, and I would just sell it and come home with money. And then I would draw little things for people and sell it and come home with money.
Starting
and then
young.
Yeah, exactly. Then I realized that's kind of what I wanted to do. And everything I learned was self-taught. Like after a while, instead of wearing other people's t-shirts, it just made sense to me, like make my own t-shirts.
Right.
So I bought a book, figured out how to do Photoshop, Illustrator. This was like Photoshop 2. and that dates myself. I'm old, but I got that, and then I just kind of like started designing stuff, and then I figured out how to screen print on my own. I made screens. I did all that, and then I used to just sell t-shirts from the trunk of my car.
So how did you go from selling t-shirts in the trunk of your car and being this like hungry artist who wants to express himself to ending up working full-time, making a name for yourself, and ending up with your own brand? Like,
yeah, well, it's a long road, and it's also, I was telling you, like we were talking a bit, but it's a lot of luck, but also it takes a lot of heart and dedication, blood, sweat, and tears, and all that.
So you're not just born fly, you're born lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but I mean, at the time when I was about to go to college, my parents, you know, they didn't believe you could make money doing art. So they told me to go to business school and do finance. I ended up at Baruch. Carla, I know that's your spot. I went there for finance, and I sucked. I was getting like D's in finance, and I was happy because I passed. And then at the same time, I was doing art, and I was selling stuff on the side. And then I got a job at a law firm as a paralegal. And that's what I was doing. And it wasn't until I'll probably say I met you.
Yeah.
That I was like, you know, I could actually do this for
Oh,
a living.
so I showed you. You're like,
Well,
I could
okay.
do this shit.
Remember?
No, you're not getting, there's an insult there.
No, it's not. That's not it.
There's actually a hidden insult in that little
I
one.
think you gave me my first real, because before that I did like flyers, and I worked in a print shop and stuff like that. And that was still print. I didn't want to do print. I wanted to do clothing. Clothing is a different feeling. Like you can see somebody wearing your stuff, and it's an automatic validation. Like, oh, that person connects with you on some level, as opposed to like, you know, just a flyer or special effects.
Yeah.
Who cares? They're not looking at Spider-Man blowing up, you know, the Empire State Building for that split second that you did the rendering of the light.
No,
and like,
Exactly.
no shade to the flyer designers out there. You guys are doing a good job.
shade,
You're doing a
No,
great
of course
job
not.
out there, you guys.
It just wasn't
we
my
need
thing.
you guys.
Yeah, we
or
need
else
you.
how do we know what club to go to?
Exactly. I did.
And when is the happy hour? And you know what I'm saying?
I did everybody's mixtape. I got paid in questionable money, but I did all that stuff.
All right, so then, you know, I remember around now we're in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
We met. You did your thing.
You called me in for an interview.
Yo.
I came in like slacking, saying like, he was like, "Where's your portfolio?" I was like, "You seen it already, no?" And he was like, "What?"
This
And I
guy was
like,
the worst.
I was like, it's like, whatever. You want to hire me? He was like, "You know what? I'll hire you." And I was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to Barbados next week, so."
It was a dare. He was like, "I dare you to hire me." I was like, "What? I'm hiring you."
And then we did it. It's a t-shirt company, a large t-shirt company, and I honed my art a little bit
Yeah.
with you. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know when I got there, and I just learned it on the fly. I may have lied and said I know how to do this, but I didn't. And I just learned it there because it was the kind of environment that pushes you. There was like, you know, it's just 4 of us in a room. I think it was 4 of us.
Yeah.
And we just challenged and worked off each other to do better and make some. You saw somebody do this, you're like, oh, that's dope. I want to do better than that. And that just fed it and made it easier for me to express myself.
Yeah.
But it was just t-shirts.
I mean, you you definitely, back in those days, you definitely had a gift for design and a natural ability to like capture, to communication design. That's what you had. You had a natural ability to decipher what sales needed, what I was asking of you, plus what you needed to do technically to get the shit done so that whatever came off of your computer, the proof was in the pudding, the shit sold.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you had that ability to grasp the aspect of the graphic design that is communication and the marketability. Perfect. Yep. So all right, so that's for another segment, but moving forward, so now you're great. You're amazing. You're the best designer ever.
No,
there's a lot of great designers in New York City.
That's not how it happened.
There's art departments full of them. How did you end up at Born Fly, and how did you end up having your own brand where now you are responsible for not just yourself but a team? You're responsible for a line. You're responsible for a line that has to succeed. It has to be
stress.
has to be competitive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's why I want to pick your brain right now. Like the competitiveness of it. How do you handle that? How'd you end up there?
Well, that's where the luck comes in, right? Knowing or meeting the right people. So, I had a job. I left where you were. I had a job doing the same thing, but then through whatever kismet, the universe, whatever you want to call it, somebody found my stuff. They used to copy it a lot. They found my art, and they called me in for a job. It was this company called Parish, right? Parish Nation. The owners,
old school urban.
Yeah, the owners of it, they were Mecca and Nietzsche, and Parish was their next new thing. It had just started, and they called me in. I came in, I met with them. I was like, I kind of just got a new job. I'm not trying to do this. And they were like, no, we want you to come work here. And I started working there. And from there, I was just connected with the right people, like good people, knowledgeable people, people who've been in this industry for years. And I was just doing graphics at that point, and I just took it upon myself to do everything, to learn everything. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about fabrication, design of the actual clothing. I'm talking about, I know denim weights, I know fills for jackets.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you flew far away from where I am.
Yeah.
Once you got into that, I was
There's
like,
a
what?
lot. Yeah.
I'm not following you down that path.
There's a lot. There's a lot to it. But it just happened kind of organically. I just kind of learned more and more, and until it's about delivery dates and shipping and all that other stuff. It just happened. It snowballed, really. And
what do you think separated you from others to allow you to make that leap, to get presented with that situation and say, boom, you survived it, you managed to float to the top? Like how?
I think it was just the openness and the willingness to learn. Like not knowing, like not just coming in there arrogant, like I know everything about graphics and I'm nice and I can draw. It's about like there's a lot of stuff I don't know and I need to learn. And just being open. If your eyes are open, your ears are open, you're gonna learn something. Yeah. And that's what it was. It was just learning from other people around me who already knew what it was. And also teaching. Like you just don't learn, you teach what you know. So it's kind of like it's a circle. You're giving something and then you're receiving something. So it basically was that. It was just my drive to learn more about it. Because some people don't care about the clothing side of it, the drawing, the bodies of it. They just want to do the art. Yeah. I wanted to do it all. And doing it all makes you invaluable.
When you say do it all, now I'm going to bring you back to the present day. What does do it all mean? What is do it all?
All, like I'm responsible for the aesthetic of the line, just everything. The day-to-day, how it should look, just wrangling everybody, getting everybody rowing in the same boat for the same mission, like just seeing what's out there and staying on trend and staying up to date with the fashion that's going on. It's a lot of it, a lot of research, a lot of always still learning, basically.
For those who don't know about Born Fly, the line, how expansive is the line? What's the categories?
Everything. It's from outerwear to denim, And we also have a kids line as well. Before it was just men's. We just introduced kids. I mean, it makes sense. You know, Born Fly is perfect for kids, so that's how we got to there.
Yeah, I think that the name is catchy.
Yeah.
Well, the name came from, that's another story. The name came from, so at the time I was at Parish, right? And I'm doing Parish, and Parish is doing well. And people around you, other people, they see your brand is doing well. And they know what you are. And they know the creators of Mecca and Nietzsche, they have this name behind them. So they know they do good stuff. So they come to you and they want you to do another brand for them. So we linked up with this really dope store in Brooklyn called Vinny Styles. Shout out to y'all. Vinny Styles has it's like the Mecca for keeping fresh in Brooklyn. Like, it's fashion forward. It has all the dope stuff, newest stuff, the one of one type stuff. So people go there as this is the place where you get something that looks completely different from somebody else. It's not your regular average store. So those guys have been doing it for years, and they came to us through however they met. They came to us and they wanted to do a little line, and they had this little character, and he was like, his name, it was like Born Fly was a moniker on there. And when we were doing it, we were like, what should it be called? And I looked at it, I was like, Born Fly is dope. I mean, you already got it. That's a dope name.
So you co-signed it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody kind of did. At the same time, I was
the best designer just co-sign shit. That's how you make it to the top, man.
Let's just use it.
Co-sign good ideas.
Let's just use it. And originally, it was just going to be like one season, like spring. I remember we did it, and it just took off. And they were like, this should be a real brand. And again, the luck part is being there at that moment with the people involved and the good people involved who just be like, you know what? You deserve to be a part of this, and you deserve to take some ownership of it. And basically that's how I got to where I am today, because good people found me. It was just, I wasn't out there looking, it just found me. And I'm not saying that's not good advice. You know, just hang out, and sooner or later somebody's gonna find you.
Yeah, no, that's how we were laughing about that on the walk over here. We were having like a little pre-show conversation on the walk over, and he was telling me this story about, you know, like he felt strongly that, you know, no, but it's there's a big percentage of it is luck. And I was like, dude, I don't want to interview a lottery winner. Don't take advice from a lottery winner on how to get rich. You know what I mean?
No, but I think that it's a combination of both.
Yes.
You work hard and you communicate with people. Like, for example, in my case, I'm just starting, right? But I'm communicating with professors. I'm communicating with people that know about my field, so I can get maybe a start on my field. Right. So I think that it's all about hard work, but also how you move
also, who do
in
know?
your field. Who do you know? Yeah.
A lot of networking. Mm-hmm. It's not about the luck, though. The luck gets you in the door. Your talent and your drive keeps you there.
Yeah.
Keeps you successful. So I just can't, I can't just tell everybody, hey, just be lucky. Because that doesn't happen to a lot of people, you know. Mm-hmm. But it is, you know, just being open to, you know, doing things out of your wheelhouse, or that's not something you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Just give it a shot.
So you're a millionaire now, huh?
I wish. No, I'm not yet. Not yet.
I'm
a millionaire in training.
Yeah. I mean, definitely that's a great title, millionaire in training, because you're being trained basically on how to manage yourself and how to manage your money and the responsibility of big money,
which is a whole nother thing, you know.
Exactly.
It's a whole nother topic.
Exactly. But so it's a struggle still. You're still in the hustle. You're still in the struggle. You know, you're not giving tomorrow, right?
Yeah, no, it's the same. Like any day, the industry could be fickle and be like, or the economy. Like the economy took a serious hit like 2 years ago. It was bad. It was bad for everybody across the board. So I mean, it's not like in the 90s when urban brands were just printed money. You know, you just put out a Nietzsche. It's so saturated, like, and people have so many more options, right? Because the internet opens the world to you. Yeah. So there's kids buying stuff from Paris and Japan and all over the world. Instead of like back in the day, we would go to VIM or we go to like, you know,
I was actually gonna hit you over the head with a top 5 urban brands, and I saw the shit they were selling, and I was like, I think I'll avoid that topic because there's nothing really to talk about. Urban market is crazy right now. You don't even know what the hell's going on. Like, you look at what they're selling, you're like, this could be somebody out of their basement in some backyard somewhere.
Yeah, it's like a hype beast stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, it's about like people co-signing you. Like, look at this guy, Virgil, who he's like the head designer of Louis Vuitton now. He started off like doing t-shirts for Kanye. And it's just that he knew Kanye. I mean, he's a talented, and then he had not Hood by Air, he had Off-White, I believe. He started off like that. And then it's just because he knew who he knew, and he moved in that circles, and he became big. So a lot of time it's luck. You know, not saying his stuff is better than anybody else or worse than anybody else.
All right, so who did you admire, aside from myself, on the come up, or maybe now? Who's somebody out there that you would say, you know, if I could only reach that life goal? They call them life goals, right? Like
Goals.
Yeah.
Hashtag goals.
You know, because it's not even money. We had a previous episode about status. Like, is it money? Is it fame? Is it like, so who do you, or what would you imagine would be that point that you could say, like, yo, I model myself after that. I want to be that.
Well, I mean, the ultimate for anybody, any designer who's in fashion would be like Ralph Lauren status, right? But that's something that's, I'm not gonna say it's not attainable, but it's a little still flights of fantasy type stuff.
You gotta be doing everything because he does everything.
But again, he had a leg up. He had
Exactly.
help. And it's different for urban designers. You know, we're still seen as urban, even though people borrow, like the high-end fashion borrow from urbans, or they use stuff from urban culture to design and make their clothing.
Yeah.
But yet still, you're urban. Like, you know, they don't want you in their circle because you're still urban. You're not high fashion.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, it's tough to say there's somebody I admire that I want to be like. Because
right. No, I got you. But a Ralph Lauren is an example for you of a symbol of
it's a symbol.
Status.
And it's the one that's like everybody knows. If you say polo,
exactly.
People know
Exactly.
that.
That's
So it's
a
more
big
about
point.
being
That's a big
Exactly.
point.
He created this type of shirts. He created almost
polo?
like a name. Yeah, that everybody knows Apollo is this type of shirt.
Right.
But it came because he created, right?
I believe he. I don't know if he was the first one that did it. No, but I think
he's the one that put it out there, right?
Yeah. I think polo shirts came from actually playing the sport polo. I think that's how they
The Ralph Lauren took that shit and ran
and
with
he
it.
took that stuff. But I understand what you're saying, but it's still associated with his name.
Exactly.
You know, it's like Band-Aid or something. You know, Band-Aid there's a brand, but everybody says, pass me a Band-Aid.
That's one of my pet curiosities, and I've heard many conversations and documentaries about it, but when your brand or the thing you invent becomes part of the dictionary, where you know what I mean?
It transcends everything. It's part of the lexicon.
That's
it's part of your word.
Where it gets to the other level.
There's a couple examples. I mean, my mom and my parents used to do that when they were young. It used to be like playing Xbox and just turn off that Nintendo. You're like, that's not a Nintendo.
But okay.
But whatever I get what you're saying, because that's what you know. But yeah, I mean, it'll be to that level, which is, again, it's a tough thing for an urban. I use that with air quotes. Urban designer. You know what I mean?
So what's, with the last few minutes we got here, what's the best parts of your day job, of your job, and what's the worst parts? And go.
I mean, the best parts is, you know, the connections you have with the people around you, you know, and talking shit. And, can you curse?
Yeah.
All right, I'm cursing.
We put explicit stickers all over this shit.
All right, good. So talking shit with those people and the bonds you form with them, I mean, that makes it a good day. Passes the time, right? The bad part is all the minutia of it, all the delivery dates and the, you know, the technical aspects of it and stuff not being on time. And because as a designer, I still, even though I know the whole business, I still love that part where I get to just sit down and design and draw and no one bothers me. But then you get pulled in 50 million directions with some stuff that that is not the thing you signed up for per se, but it's the stuff you have to do now at this level.
Yeah.
So the minutia of it, the
shit
nuts and bolts.
The shit you didn't sign up for is what you signed up for. They just didn't tell you.
Exactly.
But that is what you signed up for.
Exactly.
They got you with the shit you thought.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's all it is.
So Carlo, what about you? What questions do you have for Mr. Empresario?
Young impresario.
Well, I guess maybe like the specific date when Born Fly started, like, or the year.
Yeah, it was in, what year is this?
It was a September. It was a Saturday.
It was a
No, it's to know exact, to know
It was a
more or less,
balmy
you know.
evening, and well, in that form, because it started years ago at Finny Styles, but in that form, I believe. What are we in 2018?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's a good 6 years, so like
Okay.
I can't do math. Carry the one.
No, I got you. About 6 years ago.
Yeah, so that's what 2011, 20. No, that's wrong.
2012.
I'm going to say 2011 though.
Math
'cause I
is
think we
not
started
his
earlier.
forte. He did not sign up for the math.
Yeah, that's what I told you. I got D's in finance, yo. See, full circles. I told you. I'm not lying. But yeah, I'll say 2011, 2012.
2012.
And it was like in May.
Okay.
And maybe that's when we moved into our office. It could have been early as 2010. I'm thinking about it based on the office-wise, because before that we were just still at Parish, and I was working on Born Fly by myself. And then we got an office and we got all that together and we broke off.
We got official.
Yeah, so that was probably 2010, 2011.
What advice do you have for... First, I'm going to break this into two parts. Number one, what
Be
advice...
lucky, I told you already.
What advice do you have for graphic designers out there that want to step up?
Oh, man. We were just kind of having this conversation. I don't think you could just go to graphic design school. And I don't even like that term so much, because to me, graphic design is like Quark Express and doing book covers.
Because you're old, that's why.
Yeah. I think you got to have an art background. You got to be able to draw. You got to understand the foundation of drawing. And you got to understand how things look. I don't know if you can just teach that in graphic design. So you have to look at something immediately and know this makes sense or this doesn't make sense. This spacing is off. And we were talking about that earlier. too.
Yeah. That's for another episode.
The real advice would just be like, just keep learning. You don't know everything. You're never going to know everything. Always be open to learn. Don't think you're the best at what you do. If you can draw characters, that's just characters. There's a whole other world. Learn it.
That's true.
Learn as much as you can.
All right, and then advice for all those entrepreneurs and all those empresarios out there that want to step up.
You never know who you're talking to, so you have to
Like
get out there and
that.
talk to people. I mean, I hate it. I'm kind of like, I don't want to talk to people. I don't like people. But for the most part,
As he speaks on
I
his
can
podcast.
pretend. Yeah, exactly. Well, I like you guys. For the most part, you have to. You just have to be personable and, just connect with people. Connections, like Carlo was saying. Like, it's going to take you the rest of the way. Talent is going to bring you this far. Connections going to take you the rest of the way.
That is sound advice for both sides. I like that.
Sage.
Pero si lo estás haciendo todo igual, no tiene ningún color el paso que hace. Separa menos tiempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 y 10. 2.
Football edition.
Yeah.
With Diablo, special guest Diablo in the house.
Yes.
That's his soccer name, Diablo.
That is, what? Diablo.
What number?
Number 7. Well, I guess. I could do it. 666. What?
That's a game changer.
Sorry, I don't want to
lot
be
of
that.
numbers on your
I don't want to be the Antichrist. I'm sorry. My bad. Let's just go with 7.
So this culture talk, we decided to share. I guess this is
Pasión. Did you do that in
Yeah.
your Spanish
No,
words?
Yes, we did.
Pasión. Yeah, I have a pasión
a passion for football.
for football. Yes.
The Futbol. We have that in common, and that's not coincidental. But we have Diablo. Your background is from where?
Trinidad. So
Trinidad, we got Colombia, we got Puerto Rico in the house. Puerto
Yeah,
Rico's-
we're not
I mean,
that
they're not
into
that. It's
soccer,
baseball.
but okay.
Baseball's
But you
their
guys
thing.
have the Puerto Rican Hurricanes.
Yeah, that's true. We have a
Yeah, they-
football team,
What are they, bottom
but
of the
they're
league?
just starting. Give them time.
They
yeah.
call them the Hurricanes?
call them
Yeah,
That is
that's
right.
ironic as hell.
I know.
Was this before or after?
Before.
If
Oh
only,
my
if
God.
only they were so strong as
They
those
should change that
Hurricanes.
name.
If only.
The
Inappropriate.
Huracanes de
Inappropriate.
Puerto Rico. Oh God.
But so yeah, so on this Culture Talk, we decided to share this, our love for football, as most Americans say, soccer. We have had
Americans.
many years, plenty of World Cups that we've watched together and enjoyed.
Oh man, we're old.
Plenty of English Premier League events and things we've gone to see.
Shout out to Arsenal, the greatest team ever, by the way.
And my team, Colombia, as always, I represent that to my death. And when they're doing good and when they're doing bad,
Wow.
which usually they do good and then
That's
do bad.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
But,
same with Arsenal.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but there's a thing, there's a thing in Latin culture for football and also Caribbean culture for football and
In the world, my
in
friend.
the
It's-
world.
The
And-
world is the most played sport in the world. Every
Wow.
country plays soccer. Well, football.
True. And we have that discussion back and forth all constantly. Is it soccer? Is it football? Is it football? Is it soccer? Believe me, I would love to tell you football all day, but I just
Yeah, I
think you
call it
wouldn't
football.
understand me.
I call it
Exactly.
football. Yeah, it just confuses the Americans.
The Americans.
You
yeah.
gringos out there.
Exactly.
All
But
right, so we're gonna
football.
set it off. Carla did a little homework. She got 2 lists for us. What do you got for us, Carla?
Well, first I have the best Latino soccer players, but this is like a little bit of old school Latino soccer players because these are all-time best.
The GOATs, the GOATs.
The GOATs.
Greatest
the
of all time.
greatest from all times. So let's start. And the first one is Pelé from Brazil.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, he's in there. He's
Yes.
in there, of course.
So he's known as the king of football. And during his career, he scored 760 official goals,
2 more than I did.
And,
541 in league championships.
and I'm sure 300 of them were mid-air backwards.
Exactly. Crazy stuff. Exactly. Doing
Pelé.
crazy.
So a quick story on Pelé. For me, Pelé, I think, was my introduction to football. Because I grew up in the time in the 70s in New York when there wasn't the Cosmos.
Oh, yeah.
So there was the New York Cosmos. Cosmos was the New York team in the original league of New York. They tried to bring it up. There's a documentary about it and everything. And Cosmos stood for Cosmopolitans, basically because they were like the playboys of the soccer world.
Like the drink. That's weird.
Yeah, and they were the New York team, and they had brought on Pelé, so it was a big
Yeah.
fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like for a bullshit ass league, nobody even cared about soccer in
Yeah.
New York or in the United States, and for them to have Pelé,
Yeah, they
a
were,
world star.
they were the first ones that did that whole, let's bring the world stars here. So they had Pelé, and I believe they had Cantona, Eric Cantona, who's a French player. He's awesome. So they were just trying to, hype it up.
Yeah.
And I remember going to see one of the Cosmos games out in they were playing it out in New Jersey, and it was a real big eye opener, you know what I mean? But back then, the legend behind Pelé was so big back then, and to talk about him now, and we're still
Exactly.
talking about him.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Pelé as greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough because it's like a different world now. It's like when they say you can't compare like Jordan to LeBron. It's a different game. It's changed. I think back then when he played, I don't even think offside was a thing.
Right.
So he was just basically, he could hang out and just get the ball and score. You know what I mean? It's a different world. It's a different world.
Yeah, so just a little bit more about him is that he started in Brazil at the age of 15 and made it into the Brazilian national side at 16.
Yep.
And he's the only footballer to be part of 3 World Cup winning squads, which was in Sweden in 1958, Chile 1962, and Mexico 1970.
And that was the big one. Mexico 1970 was the one that made the U.S. pay attention.
Yeah.
I have a question. Are we calling him a Latino, even though they're Brazilian? Is that a thing?
Brazil. So
I mean, they speak Portuguese.
yeah, so this is, but even though they speak Portuguese, they're part of the Latin American community.
I guess, yeah,
even
sense.
though, there is a controversy there because most of the time Latinos are considered Latinos because they come from a country that speaks Spanish. But if you see at the map, Brazil is part of South America, which is Latin America.
Brazilians out there, you want to be part of the Latinos or what? You tell me.
Yeah, tell me.
Say, like, what do you call yourself?
Are you special or what?
Do you call yourself Latinos?
Yeah.
No, I would say yes. I would say Latin America is all Latin America. And as a matter of fact, we have cousins in the Caribbean and we got cousins even in Hawaii. So Latin America is spreading.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so passing to Maradona. He's from
Hand of God.
Argentina.
Come on now, that's what you know. That's what you know.
Carla, you don't know about the hand of God?
Carla, he
Oh,
scored a game-winning goal
like
with
Jordan.
his hand
Like Jordan. Dunked it.
Seriously?
against England. I believe this is in 78.
So
I'm not sure.
Maradona, I'm going to defend him because I know Damian wants,
80s. The 80s.
Damian wants to come in trashing him, but Maradona was a great player. He was amazing. He had a lot of skills.
Except for all that cocaine.
But he unfortunately is the biggest example of the most documented in a major event cheating.
Wow.
Like he literally used his hand.
I mean, like, everybody saw it. Everybody.
The cameras, everybody there, everybody saw it, and they gave him the point.
Oh my God.
And he ran out. He just played it really well. He just ran off cheering and celebrating before anybody could even say anything, and they gave him the point.
It's called the Hand of God. And then they went on to win the World Cup that year. So everybody
So
was pissed.
I think I have that, in my notes.
That
Not
one.
about the hand of God, but that he won the World Cup.
So Dale, tell us the facts. Go ahead.
Let me start by he started playing with Argentinos Juniors and Boca Juniors,
Boca Juniors,
before moving to Europe, playing with Barcelona, Napoli, Sevilla, and finishing his career back in Argentina with the Newell's Old Boys.
Old Boys, yeah.
Yeah. So he earned 91 caps with Argentine national team side and scored 34 goals. And then he played for FIFA World Cup tournaments, including the 1986 World Cup,
86. That was it.
where he captained Argentina and led them to the victory over West Germany in the finals, winning the Golden Ball Award as best player. Was that the same?
Yeah, that
Probably,
was the only time they won it. So I think it was the only time.
So not
he
only
won it. Yeah.
not only he cheated, he also won the best player.
Yeah. Well,
For
I
that
mean, he
World
was
Cup.
amazing because, all right, let me put it in context. In that same game where he scored with his hand, he also scored one of the greatest goals of all time when he ran through the entire team, the entire English team, and scored
Wow.
by himself. So they would have lost anyway without the hand of God, but,
Wow.
you know, everybody remembers the hand of God. That goal was insane, though. The goal he scored, he ran. It was all by
So
himself.
that's. But isn't that football?
That's football.
That is football.
That's football. Football is.
I mean, that's life. You
It's
get
a
some
painful.
calls, you
It's a
don't.
painful game. It's an unforgiving game, right? Don't they say that? That's all you hear the
Yeah.
announcers say.
Yeah, it's not like other sports where they get to go back and be like, oh, that doesn't count because we reviewed the tape.
Mm-hmm.
It just stands and then that's it.
Yeah.
And you can be an amazing team and lose 0 in a shutout to a fucking other team just because it was a bad day. You can have you could be
Portugal
in the
versus
lead.
France. Yeah, that happened the other day.
You could have a
Euro Cup.
lead. You could be in the lead and have somebody just come around and swipe you the fuck out with one
Like
final goal.
Arsenal. Yeah, happens a lot to us. Thank you.
Or you can have two teams going at it neck and neck, 0-0 to the end.
And it'd be the most
Exactly.
exciting game.
Exactly.
But there's 0-0.
That is true. And the last fact about Maradona is that he finished his career playing in 1997, but he still works managing some teams. So,
See, I think the big difference between the soccer players of now and the soccer players back then is that those guys were street kids. And the same thing happened with Colombia's team.
Yeah.
Colombia's at their height, when Colombia broke through and were like on fire, it's because they had taken on and recruited all these street kids.
Valderrama.
Yeah.
Higuita, the goalkeeper, he's crazy. He was scorpion kicks.
And so you grab these street kids that are crazy, that are cutthroat, and you put them on the field, you're going to get...
And then somebody dies.
Exactly.
because
exactly.
We all know that story.
But nowadays you have... I'm trying to skip over that.
Yeah, the dark side of Colombian football.
But nowadays you have like Cristiano Ronaldo's and the Messis and all that, and those, they're camp kids. They're kids that were brought in really young into camp, trained, bred to be these amazing players, and they have they have their own issues, but it's different.
They're still from the street. They're still from the street. Like the best of them are still from the street.
That's what I think too.
They
That
play in
it's
street
still
football, but
happening.
they get a better shot. They get a better chance now.
Okay, so passing into the next one, it will be Ronaldinho.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah, it's your favorite.
That guy.
He began his career with Grêmio Youth Squad in Brazil in 1998. At the age of 20, he moved to Paris to the Saint-Germain in France before signing for Barcelona in 2003. In his second season with Barcelona, he won his first FIFA World Player of the Year award as Barcelona won the Liga. And he scored a total of 167 goals in his senior career and a total of 33 as part of the Brazil national team.
Not bad.
Also, he is one of the 8 players to have won the FIFA World Cup, the Europe Champions League, and the Ballon d'Or.
So I always confuse him with the other Ronaldo. Ronaldinho with Ronaldo.
Yeah. So Ronaldo came first, then Ronaldinho. That's why they call him Ronaldinho.
Right.
So why do you think he's like an odd pick, Damian? You were explaining that he was like an odd pick.
I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's talented. He can run through
better than
anybody.
you? He's better than you?
a little bit better, just a little bit. But I mean, he's not like on the top scorers list. He didn't score. He was more of a creator. So, the scorers get all the acclaim and people know them more. Like the new Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Messi scoring like 60 goals in a season. So he never really had that, but he was up there with them. He's good. He's like technically amazing. Like nobody's better probably.
And he got good hair too. So
He got that good hair.
That is true. So now the last one will be the Ronaldo that you know.
Cristiano.
Phenom?
Oh
El
no,
Phenom?
that guy.
El Phenom, yeah, from Brazil.
From Brazil.
Yeah.
Stocky guy, yeah.
At his best in the 90s, Ronaldo started at club level for Cruzeiro, PSV, Barcelona, and Inter Milan. His moves to Spain and Italy made him only the second player after Diego Maradona to break the world transfer record twice, all before his 21st birthday.
How much was that transfer record? I'm curious.
I don't know.
Because right now there's people going for like 100 million. So
I know,
this
right?
dude is against history. For some reason, he's against history.
I'm just
You
curious.
tell him some old facts, and he's like, "Wait, but nowadays,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, but,
it's crazy how much it's
We won
been
world-
But
inflated.
now
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm saying. Like the transfer record is probably like 20
you talked
mil
to him
back then.
about fucking World War II, and he's like, "Yeah, but you saw the guns they had? Like, fuck that. We could win them. I could beat them now."
I got a nuclear weapon, bro.
yeah. But I guess for that time, because I know that now is so
it's
much
ridiculous
money.
money. Ridiculous
yeah.
money.
I mean, all right. So Ronaldinho, my story with him is I just went recently to
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
My story with Ronaldo is I recently went to the Nike headquarters out in Seattle, and they have a football field, soccer field, named after him, and they had a statue of him. So I had to introduce this character to my son. I told him, I said, yeah, I went to Nike, and I saw the soccer field, and it's called the Ronaldo field. And he was like, oh, for Cristiano Ronaldo? And I'm like, no. And then I'm showing him the sculpture, and the sculpture does not look like Cristiano Ronaldo at all, because they're two totally different people. And my son didn't understand who the hell this Ronaldo guy was. So I showed him videos on YouTube, and he was bugging. He was amazed. Like, if you see these videos, if you Google search Ronaldo, the Brazilian, El Phenom, you're going to see some crazy moves. This guy used to cut through the defense like it was nothing. There's shots where he's cutting through 5 people, and nobody's doing
like Messi?
shit. Exactly. And then that went into me acknowledging that my son is growing up in a time of Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's growing up in a different time now where that stuff is that, and now you got to be that and a team player and a captain.
The old
and a
Ronaldo
leader.
was probably the best of Messi combined with the best of Cristiano Ronaldo. That's how good because he was good at both things.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's more of like he can create magic, but Messi can run through the whole team, the whole
Exactly.
team by himself.
Messi's a fucking beast.
He's an alien. He's not real. That guy.
Well, I guess the last thing about Ronaldo is that at the age of 23, he had scored over 200 goals for club and country, for a total of 247 goals in the senior career and a total of 62 goals with the national team. And he retired in 2011.
That's a lot.
2011. Wow.
That's not even that far.
Yeah. Back when Born Fly was
Yeah.
created.
So, I guess now talking a little bit about the highest paid soccer players.
You have a list of the highest paid soccer player?
Well, there's a list, but they have just soccer players in general. So in this list, we have position number 2 and position number 3. That there are 2 Latino soccer players.
What?
And the highest
Yes,
paid athletes.
in the highest
in
paid
general, yeah.
soccer players.
Soccer players.
So number 2 is Messi. Woohoo!
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Argentina.
The greatest of all time,
Argentina.
I think. In my
His
opinion.
earnings, guess how much is it?
50,000.
A week?
50,000
Not
what?
even a week, a day.
Millions
hour.
or no?
How much?
80 million.
A year.
Million a year? Wow.
And this says
80 million more than I
salary
have.
and bonus 53 million.
Wow. That's Messi.
That's Messi.
This is and what number is he?
Number 2,
Who's number 1?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ugh.
I know.
How much?
Uh,
Alright, don't worry about it. A lot.
93 million.
Now, you think that's also their endorsements and stuff included?
I think they
It
get
might be
it.
like everything. Yeah,
what else
because
do they got?
once. Exactly.
They're not getting paid per. I mean,
They get paid per
They
week.
could.
It's crazy how much they get paid per week. So they get like 200,000 a week.
you gotta get some Born Fly clothing on their back.
For real.
Exactly.
Yo, come through, Messi. Ronaldo, holla at me, yo. Holla at your boy.
And then the, number 3 is Neymar.
Brazilian.
His earnings are 37 million.
Shit.
You know what that says about that list? 2 of those people were on Barcelona.
And we're getting arrested right now. Hold on.
Oh, man. I gotta run. Gotta go, guys.
Looking for you.
No, but Barcelona can afford to pay the greatest players.
Right. I mean, that's a whole big thing in the soccer world, in the international football world, is that these clubs, it's like a mob, and there's a whole money game going on there, and how much money they spend on their teams and all that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that really controls what you're seeing on the field.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
crazy.
that's why I don't really like La Liga, because there's only 2 teams that really can compete in La Liga because of their financial power, and that's Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Every now and then it's Atletico Madrid, but not really. It's just them because they buy all the best players, and it's unfair, kind of like.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a draft system like they have here in America, where you have to like allocate a certain number of amazing players to each team. It's like I could just buy it's a dream team essentially. Barcelona and Real Madrid are dream teams.
Right.
Yeah.
It's unfair to the rest of the.
So those are the 2 in the list. I know that there's another one back in the list, but it's like number 7 and it's Luis Suarez.
Again, he's on Barcelona.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So
So-
Damon, you've been telling me you've been itching and jumping at the mic to tell me who's your favorite player.
Thierry Henry. I'll say that again. I'll say that
Okay,
again.
say it again.
Thierry Henry. That's how you say it in France. He's a French national player, and he played for a little team called Arsenal, the greatest team ever. Went 49 games unbeaten. That's crazy. He's my favorite player by far. Like, you know, he's
Alright.
just the most complete player in my eyes. And, you know, he happens to be a brother. Doing the Wakanda. He's a Wakandan. He's Wakandan.
You play for the Wakanda national team.
He's from the Wakanda national team, yeah. But he was just amazing when In his day, he was amazing. Like, there's nobody better.
All right.
I mean, he did have that one thing where he cheated a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah. I know.
Let's just gloss over that.
Whatever.
I don't even know why I brought that up.
I would say on my end, people that I want to shout out. I mean, obviously, in the Colombian national team is the only team that I really go head in for.
James.
Yeah, James Rodriguez is like a big, he's like a big icon in the Colombian national team.
He was killing it last World Cup.
Yeah, he was doing an amazing
Yeah.
last World Cup. I mean, there's been ups and downs. There's been this and that, whatever. But, he does what he does. Also, Falcao is
Yeah,
a big
little old
celebrity.
now,
Yeah, he's a big celebrity for that. He's getting up there.
Shout
in
out to
age.
Ospina.
Ospina.
From Arsenal.
He
Just so
holds
you
the
know.
team together.
Yeah, I think that now,
Goalkeeper.
even more than James, Ospina is the one doing the work.
Yeah, he's
He's the
shining.
goalkeeper, so he's.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not
Yeah.
amazing, but
And then you got Cuadrado.
Cuadrado
you
is
got,
good.
Cuadrado,
the
yeah.
other guys.
he had so much potential. I feel like he just kind of fizzled out. Chelsea bought him for a minute, and then he didn't do anything there. So he went back to wherever he was from.
I mean, again, that's what you look at football for, right? You look for those ups, you look for those downs, and even the U.S. team, right? Let's talk about the U.S. soccer team.
Oh God. Kicked out by my country. By
Que
the way.
bochorno.
We kicked them out. Trinidad kicked them out. I mean, I'm torn because I love USA, of course. Just in case INS is listening. I love USA. I'm just saying, they should have never lost to Trinidad.
Yeah.
We suck.
So this next World Cup, we're looking forward to a little bit of Colombia and a little bit of what else? You're rooting.
France is my team, and Germany is always going to be good to watch. Germany, they kill it. There's like at least 3 Arsenal players. And that's how I judge things, based on how many people play for Arsenal. Yeah. Because I don't have Trinidad. They're not in it. This World Cup is going to be weird, though. It's in Russia. We got tension. It's a whole thing. And they're super racist. Shout out to my Russians. Well, I'm just saying, people that actually live there, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, they throw bananas at people on the field. It's going to be a problem. No, for real. Like, you're going to have to watch it closely. There's going to be something popping off, and it's not good.
You wanted me to teach you, right?
Ahora sí, hablando español, Carla.
Hablando español.
And we got Diablo in the house. We got D-Double Design in the house for this Hablando Español.
Sí.
Eh,
Como la flor. Con tanto amor. Also, despacito.
you did your homework.
Yeah, man. Rosetta Stone, man. Shout out to Rosetta.
A las Rosetas.
That's my girl.
So you were explaining to us how you had personal beef. Let's get this out of the way. You had personal beef because of our review of Coco. What did we leave out? What happened?
I mean, you just left out the best song ever. It's called Coco Loco by Miguel and his great-great-great-grandfather. That part I don't know that
You gotta
one.
add greats just to
Great,
make
great,
it
great,
make
great,
sense.
great.
Great.
You know that whole, what color is the sky? I'm your amor, I'm your amor. You tell me that it's red. I'm your amor, I'm your amor. Where should I put my shoes? I'm your amor, I'm your amor. You say, put them on your head. I'm your amor, I'm your amor. Come on now. I mean, come on. I'm about this Coco life, all right?
That was awesome.
I'm cuckoo for Coco Puffs.
We should have had you for that review. baby.
Yeah, I had beef with the review because that part you left
I
out.
My
know.
bad, man. Next time.
Sorry about that.
All right, so Carla, what do you got for us? How are we speaking Spanish today?
So yeah, we're speaking Spanish. The first one is how you say entrepreneur in Spanish.
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
We're gonna leave that up to Diablo, the guest.
Empresario. That's what they call me. They call me Young Empresario. That's my rap name. Little Empresario.
Empresario.
okay,
All right.
yeah.
I rolled the R too. See
Yeah.
that? See what I
Yeah.
did?
You got 2 points. Okay.
Bah,
The next one is design.
that's a tough one. I'm assuming it's very similar to the English word.
A little bit.
All
yeah.
right, so we'll give it to you. Ready? Diseño.
Diseño. Yeah,
Di-
makes sense.
diseño.
Diseño.
There you go.
Okay.
Diseño.
Okay, so the next one is designer.
Diseñador.
There you go.
Nailed it. That Rosetta Stone, yo. Shout out.
The next one is luck. How do you say luck?
Ooh,
I know that.
That's a good one.
How?
Suerte.
Nice.
Yeah,
He's been studying his song. You know that comes from some song where they're like la suerte del amor and some shit, and he's like,
They always have 3 words in Spanish songs. Any Spanish song. Corazón, amor, and mi vida. That's the basis of every Spanish song. I can make one for you right now. I'm just saying.
You're actually right.
For real.
Okay, so the next one will be company. How do you say company?
company.
I don't know. Compañero.
Compa-
I just add O's to the end of the stuff.
Compañía.
Same.
So
Compañía.
there you go. All right. He's got it. He's got it.
Got this. These gringos got it.
Okay, the next
I'm not
one is t-shirt.
What?
T-shirt.
Oh, t-shirt. Okay. Don't know that one.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's a tough one because I've heard it said different ways.
Camisa.
Is that just
I heard it
shirt?
different though. I heard
That's
it different
shirt,
way.
right?
Yeah. What do you heard?
I forgot the other way, but there was another word that I was like,
I know that because of Tengo la camisa negra.
Porque
No, pero
negra,
camisa y
tengo
camiseta
el
son dos
alma.
cosas diferentes. Camiseta is the t-shirt. Camisa is a button-down shirt.
Well,
camiseta
I'm
is
going
like
with what Carla
Okay.
said. Okay.
Actually, you might be right. I
Might,
think
might. You guys
I
heard it
think
here
that
first.
might be
I might be right.
difference. Yeah, you might be right. But we actually say more like camisa. Just I think we call camisa any type of camisa.
There was a-
but
There was another one, and I'll find it one day. But
Yeah.
There was another phrase for a t-shirt.
yeah. Okay, so next one will be network. How do you say network?
Network.
That I have no
That's
clue.
above my pay grade.
How do you say
Network.
net, first of all? Because
Well,
then I could
it's
figure
the
it
same.
out. I'll put
It's the
I'll put
same.
net and trabajo together.
It's
And I get net
yeah.
trabajo.
It's actually the same, which is weird.
Hit
And
us.
I'll explain now. So network means red. Red. Network means red. Net means red. Also. So network means red, and net means red. But it's 2 different types of red. One is the red that you use to fish, to like actually fishing.
okay.
And then the red, like redes sociales, it will be social network.
Redes sociales.
Ah.
So red is network. But if you want an actual translation for networking in Spanish, I think it will be more like conectar.
Oh, yeah. That sounds about right.
Conectar sounds more.
Networking.
Yeah,
Because you
networking.
cannot use the actual translation for network because
No.
it will make no sense.
No, it makes no sense.
It's like
All
a
right.
web, spider web.
So
So
conectar
conectar is
Conectar.
network.
is to network. To network.
All right, give it to us. Conectar.
You need conectar and suerte together.
Exactly. You got it. Yes.
All right,
There you go.
What's
What?
that?
I'm fluent
Okay.
now.
The next one is player. How do you say player?
Like player, like
Like player on a football
No,
team.
like
Oh,
player
like
in the
a
foot.
player.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you would. The minute you hear it, you're gonna be like, duh.
Uh-huh.
It's like player.
All right, dale, Carla.
Jugador.
I knew that. Yeah.
Jugador.
Yeah. They say that all the time when I watch the Spanish.
So
network.
so play is jugar,
yeah, I knew
and
that.
if you're a player, you're a jugador.
What?
Okay, how do you
Don't want to be a
say?
jugador no more.
I'm not a jugador. I just jugar a lot. No, actually, it's like crush a lot. Crush is. ¿Cómo se dice? Crush. Aplastar.
Crusha, I don't know.
No soy jugador, solo aplasto harto. Makes no sense.
Wow. Okay, so the next one will be soccer. How do you say soccer in Spanish?
Come on now.
Futbol.
Football.
Exactly.
Goal.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. The next one will be game.
Game.
Yeah.
I feel like I know this.
I'll leave that up to you, D. I think
feel like I know
this
this.
is your level.
It's just not coming to me right now. Rosetta has failed me.
So player is jugador. Game is similar. All right, so a game is a juego.
Yeah.
Un juego.
Juego.
Juego is game, but when you're talking about a soccer game, it's not a juego.
Not a juego.
It's
So I say I got juego.
you have
I got game.
you got game is I got juego.
A
yes.
juego, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Got it,
But then when you're
got
talking about specifically soccer, when you say talking about a soccer game, you talk about a partido.
Ah, see, I remember that.
Un partido.
Partido.
A partido meaning a piece. Un partido is a part.
Yeah. And next one is team. How do you say team?
Oh, that's a good one. That works across the board. You could use that every day.
Feel like I know this.
You definitely know this.
You know it.
They
You
say it
know
all the time when they're talking about football.
Yeah.
Well, after 3 of these delicious Brooklyn Defender, by the way, if you want to sponsor,
Hashtag.
I do not know.
No. So it's equipo.
I knew that.
Equipped.
Yes.
Think about equipment.
Yeah,
Equipped.
I knew
Equipo.
that. No, I knew
Yeah.
that.
So basically, when you say team in Spanish, y tú dices mi equipo, you're saying the guys that are equipped.
I knew this because I watch a lot of Spanish language football games, broadcasts of it, because they're more exciting. You know.
Half the time, you're more Spanish than I am, so I don't know what to do here. What am I doing here?
Okay, so
Did you know I was the? Side
Yeah,
note.
go
I
ahead.
was the treasurer for the Puerto Rican club
wow.
in Baruch. This is a real story.
I think you mentioned
Real.
this one time.
It's
Seriously?
ridiculous.
And it was
I mean,
by-
that's who I hung out
it
with.
was
Everybody thinks I'm Spanish.
A lot of
Everybody
luck
thinks I'm
and a lot of default and a lot of connects.
Dominican. People think I'm Dominican, so. But then I don't know why I'll be the treasurer of the
A
Puerto
Puerto
Rican.
Rican club. That's crazy.
Strange.
Okay, so the last one is devil. How do you say devil?
Oh my God.
Diablo.
You just gave that one away.
Yeah.
This guy over here. That's
Gotta
my
to.
nickname, Diablo.
All right, so I got some to throw you off. Might even throw Carlo off.
Go, go, go.
All right, so when we're talking about soccer,
Yeah.
obviously the place where you score, what is that called? You're shooting towards the what? Where are
Goal?
you?
G-O-L?
All right, so that's almost there, but not there.
I mean,
All right,
I
so
think I'm right.
no.
The gate, pero
Carla's thinking the right way. Okay, so when you do get the ball into this thing, it is a goal. But what is the thing called?
I'm stumped.
So if it was basketball, it would be a net.
There's
Yeah.
also a
Or
net
the
in
hoop.
soccer. So.
Or the
yeah,
hoop.
but it's not that.
So in Spanish, when you're shooting towards that thing in soccer, you're shooting dispara hacia el marco.
Ah, sí, es verdad.
El
What?
marco.
Oh, the mark.
So
It's
the
gotta
mark
be-
is
The mark
like
is the frame.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
frame.
yeah. All right.
Literally
Makes
a
sense.
frame.
Makes sense.
So whenever you hear somebody say, no, disparó hacia el marco y no hubo gol, that means like he hit towards the frame and it didn't, no goal. So it's not, you don't say you're shooting towards the goal. It's you're shooting
Yeah.
towards the mark, the
Yeah,
frame.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good one.
All right, another one that's difficult, and I'm going to need Carlos' help on this is, how do you say referee? How do you say ref? So soccer is based off of the refs. There's no instant replay. It's all about the referees, the on-field refs. How do they say ref?
Era árbitro.
I was gonna go say it's something similar to umpire, but no, it's not.
And that's why it slipped my mind. I needed Carlos' help because I know I've heard it a million times, but I never realized how different it is.
It is very different actually.
What's
So-
the direct translation of that?
Arbitro. Arbitrary.
So, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. So like you're an arbiter, right? I got you.
El árbitro.
So you're
judge.
the one that
Yeah.
is there to.
Okay, I got another one.
Got it.
Ajá. Dale.
How do you say the soccer ball? How do you
Pues la
say ball?
bola.
Bola. But you're supposed to give
Bueno,
it to,
la,
you're supposed to give it to him.
sorry.
Bola.
Bola.
La bola.
But I think there's another word for it. O la
Oh,
pelota.
pelota. Yeah. It's
Pelota.
pelota. Yeah, that.
Pelota.
Because I think bola, bola can be actually
Balls?
translated to balls, exactly. And you don't want to say that.
Huevos.
Let's play with the balls. No, you don't want to.
No,
No dice
no,
traga la
it's-
pelota.
La pelota.
Pelota. And then, but you could also say, pero tú tienes unas pelotas bien grandes. ¿Qué te pasa a ti?
Hey, slow down. Slow down. All the way down.
Diablo, D-Double
Yeah.
Design. We wrap this up with you.
Yo, this was fun, yo. Thanks for inviting me here.
How do people find you?
Go to Born Fly. Check out Born Fly clothing on Instagram, and then go www.born-fly.com. And you can find me at D-Double Design. That's D-E-E, double as in D-O-U-B-L-E, and design. You got it. You can spell. I'm sure you can spell. If you find this podcast, I'm sure you know how to spell and put the letters in the box.
We're gonna add the link to
Yeah, just add
the
it.
I
description.
think we'd have to add that.
Yeah.
Yo, but thanks for being our first in-house guest.
Yo, I feel special as hell, and it was fun as hell. Let's get this Chinese food going. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So this wraps up episode 16. Next episode, episode 17, Color of Life. We have Dr. Greedy back in the studio, Carla.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
Very excited.
We're going to be talking about how we see color all around us. We're going to have a nice conversation about why we crave certain colors and what does it mean to be an artist in a world full of color.
And on Culture Talk, we're gonna be talking about fusion Latino foods, some restaurants that include fusion Latino recipes on their menu, and also some fusion drinks.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to take a guess. At the end, I'm guessing we're probably going to be doing what?
Hablando español,
Maybe.
for sure.
Ooh, with Dr. Greedy.
Yeah.
He's always good. He's always stumping you.